Hi, I'm Dalton, and today I'm going to be doing my reflective video blog over the informative narration PowerPoint project that we did for our first speech. The first question was, what was the specific purpose of this speech project? And I think that this, as like an opening speech project, was a way to get us warmed up to speaking formally, but in a safe, quote unquote, in a safe way, so that we weren't talking in front of a group, because even if you're talking to a group of friends, it's still really difficult to public speak because you know that there's a camera there recording you. And so I think since this time there wasn't a video aspect, it was just an audio aspect, it was a lot easier, so it was a good introductory speech to do. The second question is, how did you feel going into the speech presentation? Why? I felt really confident because I knew what I was talking about. I did the research that I needed to do. I knew the requirements for the project, so I knew what I needed to know. I knew my information, and I also knew how I was going to put it into the presentation and the layout of how I wanted it to go. So I felt really confident going into this because I had a vision of what I was going to be doing, so I wasn't really worried about anything going wrong. The third question is if I experienced any speaker anxiety, why, and what I would do next time to reduce the speaker anxiety. With this specific project, I did not have any anxiety because, like I said, I was so well prepared. I knew what I was talking about because of the research that I did. And I also think that there wasn't any anxiety because I knew that I wasn't going to be talking in front of a group of people, or I wasn't going to be recorded for the potential of millions on YouTube to see me. It's just my professor that's going to be hearing me, and I think that made it a little bit easier. And I also didn't have to worry about like giggling when I mess up, because I do that a lot when I mess up, even in like a formal speech, which is really bad. But with this, if I messed up, I could re-record the audio that I was trying to record at the given time, so I didn't have to worry about messing up, so to speak. The fourth question was if my technology was adequately prepared and what I would do differently or better next time. My technology was adequate, I think is a good word. The computer worked, but the microphone set up on the computer made it difficult, and I felt like I was yelling, and it also picked up a lot of background noise, which is kind of irritating for the listener. So next time I give like a narrated PowerPoint or something of the sort, I will use an auxiliary microphone so it picks up my voice better and picks up less of the background noise. The fifth question is, in terms of structure and organization, what felt natural and what felt weird or odd? What felt the most natural was definitely the introduction and conclusion, because we've always done an introduction and conclusion for any speech in high school or middle school, any paper that we've ever written. It's really something that's kind of secondhand to us. We know what we're doing when we do that. I think what felt the weirdest was the internal review and preview, because I've never done that before. And I also didn't know where that information should go, because in a speech you just talk. But with the narrated PowerPoint, you have to cut it up into slides. And I wasn't sure what slide that part of the narration should go on, because it relates to the previous slide as well as the forthcoming slide. So it was kind of difficult and awkward for me to figure out where I wanted to put my preview and review of the information that I was speaking about. The sixth question is, how did you consider your audience when developing your speech? I knew that euthanasia was kind of a common topic. Everyone kind of knows what it's like to put down a pet, or they kind of know what putting down a pet is, but this time I was talking about humans and not animals. So I knew that I had to do my research and explain everything a little bit differently, because you're choosing to put yourself down. You're not choosing to put your ailing pet down. So I knew that this was kind of a different topic for people to hear, and kind of strange to hear, especially because suicide is so touchy. So assisted suicide was also going to be touchy. I knew I had to approach it carefully. The last question is, what do you want to target in your speech next time? What worked, what didn't work, and what are your areas for improvement? My areas for improvement are definitely rambling. I'm a big rambler. Even when I have what I want to say written down, I still struggle to say just that, because I go off on tangents that, while related to the topic at hand, they do put me over time limits. But I think what worked really well for me was the fact that it was a PowerPoint, because I really enjoy PowerPoints and they're easy for me to do. So I think that's really all I have to say about that. But this was my reflection about the narrative PowerPoint for the informational speech, and I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Thanks.